Hey, is this thing on? Welcome to Little Wrist Big Fist, home of the hits that you may have missed. This is Dusty Cantrell, and I will be joined by my co-host, Moose. Oh. In this episode, we follow along the evolution of Austin Sawyer into a beautiful, luscious drumming bird. From the very first time those fingers touched a fretboard to Drumming Bird Saves Christmas, with plenty of fun and jokes along the way. As always, we would love to give a special thanks to our sponsors, Shaw Audio and Amp Entertainment. Thank you for the continuous love and support. Peace! Oh, I guess
Little Wrist Big Fist!
Back in action.
Back in action.
With my boy D.
Yeah, and also we have a special guest in the building.
Is he special?
Yes.
I'd say he's special.
Very much so.
You're
Very
right.
much so.
All right.
Welcome, Austin. Austin Sawyer, everyone.
Yeah. So
or Sawyer, if
yeah,
you're not from Indiana.
And if you're from Twitter, it's at Austy23, right?
Is it?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you change it?
No, it's always been that.
I thought it was a Saw. That's everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because I made my Twitter when I was in like 7th grade. I
It
think.
sounds that sounds about right. Yeah. So did you have a Twitter before you had a Facebook?
I don't think so. I think I've had Facebook since like 5th grade, which was definitely a mistake.
That's when I had it too. That's when I got it.
I got it in 2009. That's all I did.
I think I was around there maybe 2008.
And you want to know you want to know, I know this is very off subject for where we're going to go in the future of this podcast, but like, you want to know the reason I got Facebook?
What's that?
Girls.
No. There was this, I had this friend and he was
Farmville.
Gosh,
Was
dang
it Farmville?
It was
Seriously?
definitely.
Oh my god.
How did you know?
Because that was all the rage back then.
Yes, that's why I got Facebook, is because my friend was like, "Hey, you should make a Facebook so we could be Farmville friends." I was like, "Oh, okay."
I'm turning Austin down just a little bit, but continue.
Yeah, turn me down, see what happens.
I'll fix it in post, dude.
You're about to spill all the liquidation over there on
Did I
that
almost spill it?
the tape. Yeah,
Can we share this water, Moose?
your
Yeah.
antler got.
I got a little.
By the way, this
Tickle in my
water
throat.
is sponsored by Amp Entertainment and Shaw Audio. Thank you very much, guys, for H2O. Because it's great. It's great with hydration.
Sponsor on this week's episode is water. Water, better when it's wet.
Ugly God.
Young ugly guy.
All right, I'm back.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Are we ready? Are we ready?
Yeah, he was just a little loud. A little
Okay.
pumped. Little pump.
Lil Pump. So,
Saw, dude.
now that we went on like this little weird social media rant.
Oh, speaking of.
Oh wait, yeah,
what
we
just
can
happened
stay.
with
We
it?
can
Please,
stay.
What?
please talk about
We
your-
can still.
please
We
talk
can
about
stay
your
on this
Twitter.
rant. Yeah.
All right, so I was recently featured on the Jimmy Kimmel's Celebrities Read Mean Tweets. It was before, like right before the CMAs, or before or after they aired it, and
Right.
Luke Combs read it, or tweet of mine. I tweeted out like back in June, so I had totally forgotten about it. But it said Luke Combs looks like the human manifestation of cornbread.
Which is spot on.
I mean, really though.
I remember watching that video, not knowing. I had no clue until today that you were the one who tweeted that. But I remember watching that video, and I'm just like, my mind exploded because it is so true. It is so true.
Did they read your Twitter name on there?
They put
displayed.
it on there.
Did you get any more followers from that?
Of
course, I would think of that.
4.
Yeah.
Did you really?
5.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Nothing crazy.
So when did you initially find out that they featured your tweet? Did they like inbox
No,
you?
they
or-
didn't even let me know. Some guy just like replied to the tweet and said, "Hey man, this was on Jimmy Kimmel tonight." And I'm like, they
had no idea.
Yeah, they didn't even like say, "Hey, we're gonna use this." So like,
lit.
I might have.
That's crazy. The reason I asked that is because I noticed that some of those Twitter handles were like parts of them were blurred out, so I didn't know if like they asked everybody, but that could have been something offensive in the handle.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
That makes sense.
Didn't you also like have something else on Twitter, kind of?
yeah. Just,
Oh, you got
college
it
one?
featured on like a meme page or something like that.
Yeah, no. Back in last August,
This is the best one.
it said, "Stop encouraging everyone to go to college. There's not enough parking,"
Which is so true, man.
which is
Like,
very true. And but
Especially for MTSU.
yeah, but have you been on campus this semester?
No.
They like
it's ridiculous.
They're building a new building, so they like blocked off half of the student union lot. So like, I don't know where everybody's
the
parking.
student
Oh, wait a
union lot?
minute.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that they had. I haven't.
I
been
never
over
parked
there.
there. I never
Yeah,
parked
Dude,
there.
that's
I
crazy.
usually just park in the garage.
They've also
but,
got over there where the KU. No. The KOM is. A big portion of that parking lot's blocked off because they're redoing.
Are
the
they still
parking
doing
lot,
the
or-
sport complex thing? Or is that a
Uh,
thing? Did you hear about that?
I don't know if that was
That-
ever confirmed. to be
Yeah,
honest.
no, that was like a leaked video. It was like a proposed thing, and it was like leaked, and
Yeah, well, that
looks
looked
dope.
It'd be awesome,
But
yeah,
where's
absolutely.
that funding coming from?
The tuition that's going up. For real, though.
truth.
Money.
I think it went up like.
For those that want to know, that's Austin. We got those from recording your album, right?
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
just randomly said weird stuff every once in a while. And we cut them out.
Yeah, you know how they do.
Yeah.
Young Grady on the track.
What, Young Grady?
Oh yeah, I have it repeating on accident, but
That was kind of cool.
Yeah, added a little bit
It's
of
lit.
character to it.
Oh yeah.
So you're also a campus tour guide.
Yep.
Well,
Get it?
Yep.
we were on the
Getting
we
this?
were on the campus
Yeah,
topic.
you're right. You're right.
Do you see that help with like, first off, everyone, obviously, if you haven't figured out yet, Austin is a musician. Do you ever get anybody does that ever come up in conversation or anything like that when you're giving a tour through the Rib Building or?
You shameless plug yourself every time.
I've only shamelessly plugged myself one time, and that's because it was a group of like pretty much like 99% music business people.
Okay.
And we were just talking about it like the whole time, and like two of the people were like transfer students coming down from somewhere, I think it was like Illinois, and they were like ran a venue, and we were just like really hit it off when we were talking about stuff. So I just mentioned at the end, I was like, since you all are musicians, I don't normally do this, but you can go check out my
and
music.
they were like, yeah, right.
Yeah. and then sometimes when like one of the stops we do in the College of Media and Entertainment is like the Center for Innovation in Media. So
Is that upstairs?
No, that's the TV, like the news kind of room on the like far end of the building. And then they have like the TVs like going all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And the middle one is like an MT10 stream. So sometimes I'll be giving a tour and that showcase Dan and I played back.
playing?
Yeah, it's playing.
Does
I'll be
anyone
like,
say, is that you?
well, I mean, I'll usually point it out if it's happening.
Yeah.
But it's
Guys,
only
look,
happened
I'm
like
on TV, dude.
it's only happened like 2 or 3 times. But
So
it's hilarious when that happens.
What's the weirdest thing you've ever experienced during like a tour? Like, is there anything that's just been really different that's happened in the middle of a tour?
I had an 8th grade boy ask me one time. He's like, listen, when the 8th grade, when like the middle school kids get on campus, they just like spit game the whole time.
Oh, I remember this kid.
Yeah, but he's like, if you get pregnant in the dorms, do you have to move out?
Oh my goodness,
Okay,
That's an
I don't
eighth
remember that
grader.
kid.
8th grade boy asking this.
that's awesome.
Boy, the things that run through their minds. I wasn't thinking about that when I was in 8th grade. I mean, I was probably thinking about some foul shit, but
One
but
thinking about getting pregnant in a dorm, and if I would be getting kicked out if that happened, it seems like that's what his plans are when he gets to college.
Yeah.
at that
So-
age, I was wondering who the kid was that got the drug dog brought to our school. That happened. Actually, that was 7th grade. That was a real thing. We had a convocation about it. Like they sat all of us down in the auditorium, and then while they were doing that, they ran the police dog through our school and like sniffed out lockers and found some big bag of dope in some kid's car or some kid's locker.
That's crazy.
In 7th grade, is that a thing? That's nuts.
That's too much. I don't think in 7th grade, like at the time that I was in middle school, I don't think anything like that was really going on. But like now, obviously, kids are doing more and more at a younger age.
But I was also in like
scary,
we had like 4 public schools that went, 4 middle schools that went into the high school.
Yeah,
because they were in different parts of town, and that I was in like, I'd say I was in the worst one, like for sure.
But my hometown has a very much different demographic than yours.
Bunch of good old boys.
For the most part, yeah.
Everybody I've met from your hometown's nice as hell. But
we're pretty.
So yeah, Austin, do you want us to give you an intro? Because I give you an epic intro.
Sure, let's hear
it.
What you got for me?
All right, so Austin Sawyer is a musician. Sawyer. I can't speak.
He's from Indiana.
Yeah, Chloe does it all the time. I give her so much crap about it.
She says Sawyer.
Yeah.
I also say eggs. Okay, Austin coined the freaking phrase eggs because I just
pointed it out. I just pointed it out to you.
And because
he made it known.
Yeah, because I say, when you're making like eggs and bacon, that's how I say it. Because I guess apparently because I'm from Indiana, Dad says it too.
Asterisk eggs.
And asterisk.
For our southern listeners, we're talking about eggs right now.
Eggs. I have to struggle to say
eggs.
that. So he's coined that word for me, which I use on my Instagram constantly whenever I make eggs in the morning. And I met you through the song "Put Me in the Ground," which I'd say, I don't know, I feel like 50% of the people in Murfreesboro that I know me from that song. I'd say for real, it helped kind of get me out there as Moose. The Austin was featured on the song, and
Singing.
Did you help write?
Yeah,
a little bit. Yeah, okay, a lot of it. Okay, I thought it wasn't Sebastian, was it? It was you.
Sebastian
that helped finish, or did Sebastian help finish? And you were already in it or something. Right?
It was. We were all kind of. Dan had like the chorus kind of established, and then
and wherever else he was going was like super sad.
I made it super sad.
It was happy.
Yeah. He made a getting out of town song. I made a breakup song.
Well,
okay.
I think that was a good decision because it really helps support, and
it
of course,
popped off.
Yeah, and people like to listen to that stuff,
Yeah, people like the in their feels stuff, especially me. I'm a sucker for emotional. Like I know a lot of people like when they were in the 7th and 8th grade, they love the angsty stuff. But like, dude, like that, like I would sit in my basement and this just bask in this stuff. Like I was all about it. Like the only thing I didn't have was the moody hair. It's like the only thing I did. Like you had.
Yeah, that was. I wouldn't define it as moody hair.
Moody hair. Helmet.
But when
have you ever seen his throwback pictures? His pictures from like middle school and high school,
maybe.
Or even your senior pictures.
Did he have like Justin Bieber kind of hair?
Yeah, but it was a helmet, cuz.
Wow.
I mean, I just have a good head of hair.
He does.
And like when I grow that
thick
out,
with 2 Qs.
It is what it is.
I'm sorry. I can't
no,
change that about myself.
I'm saying the only people that hated on it are the ones that couldn't do it. So
the bald-headed hoes.
Bald head. So,
but I hate that hairstyle. To be honest, now I can't believe I did that. Rip.
It's all right.
It's all right.
We've all made mistakes.
We have.
Trust me.
Live and learn.
I've made many that are not pictured. But that's how I met Austin, and I honestly didn't really know much about Austin until we started working on his music, and he approached me to work on his music through Put Me in the Ground. And then since then, like I became really good friends with you through making the album that's gonna come out next year. Can we just say next year?
Yeah.
Okay. And
early next year.
Early
people,
next year.
Don't worry. It's coming.
So yeah, Austin is a musician, leader of a band, songwriter, and all. I'd say I would say you're a damn comedian. You're fucking hilarious, dude.
Very funny, dude.
One of the funniest people that I personally know. Dead ass.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
You're welcome. And his Twitter's popping. So if y'all ever want to tell her your Twitter handle again,
At Austy23.
AUSTY.
Were you
AUSTY.
a Jordan fan when you were in 7th grade?
Yeah, no. I like.
Is that where it came from?
Yeah. No.
It was just cool.
Yeah, I honestly regret that Twitter name so much, but I went viral with it, so it's too late to change it now. But,
Yeah.
Is that why you stuck with it?
Yeah.
You're like, I just have to now.
Too much clout associated with it. But no, yeah, it's just like I was playing basketball at the time, and I was
Were you any good?
23.
He was tall.
Yeah, I was tall. Basically,
You were the wall.
I was the freakish 6 foot kid in 8th grade.
He was
Dude,
the
were you awkward when he
was
ran
the
and
Larry
stuff?
Bird.
I don't think
He was the
so.
Larry Bird of middle school.
We had a kid that was like 6. He was at least 6'2", 6'3".
Sheesh.
I'll never forget that.
in
kid.
middle school.
Yes, dude. He was huge, and he ran like he just didn't know. He didn't know what to do with all his body. So especially when his arms would move, his hand would always be back.
Oh no.
Because it's like he had too much weight or something. I don't know. I felt bad for the kid, but man, he could move. I mean, he had a stride on him. That's all I gotta say. But that's Austin. In a huge nutshell, I guess that was a botched intro,
Well,
but
It's okay. We'll dig a little deeper and find out.
We'll fix it in post.
We'll fix it in post.
I love that.
So I guess the first question after hearing that intro, obviously we gathered that you're a musician. How did you get to become a musician? What was the little first taste that you got from music, and how did that grow into what it is now?
I like to, I guess, kind of cite it back to my dad. He kind of had a pretty unique, eclectic taste in music. Like a lot of dads just listen to classic rock, and don't get me wrong, my dad loves some classic rock, but there are also some bands like the Smiths and a band called Drive-By Truckers. And also I have memories when I was 4 or 5. My dad was listening to Blink-182's
Really?
album.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Dude, your dad's lit.
So
He legit liked him.
yeah, it's
That's awesome.
their 2003 album, which is
Is that Enema of the State? Is that what the girl?
No. The 2003 one was a pretty big departure from their music. It's just self-titled, but it was kind of regarded as their first serious album.
Okay.
More or less, but it's absolutely phenomenal album. But
I'm looking it up.
my dad always just I always appreciated his taste in music and how I guess much he thought about the music he was listening to.
Right.
This one?
Yes,
With
that
the
one.
pink and blue cover?
Yeah.
What's it called?
Smiley.
It's just a self-titled.
Okay.
And then it's the one with I Miss You. That was the big song off that.
Yeah, Feeling This was pretty big off that one too.
Okay.
Yep.
And then that. So yeah, that got me I guess my dad got me interested in music. And
Was
then
it by his taste in music, or was he also a musician? At all?
he plays guitar a little bit. Just,
Okay. Just
Picks around.
Yeah, and that
like a lot of dads.
right.
Of that era.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
knows U2 covers and as the dads do,
Yeah.
as the dads do. But yeah, so I started playing on his guitar, and then got a guitar for Christmas. 10 or 12 years ago, whenever that was.
It's about 12.
And then
10 or 12?
Yeah, I was probably about 9 or 10 years old.
Okay.
And then I let's see.
Were you serious about it when you started? You know what I mean? You know how some kids will get one, like me? I got a guitar, believe it or not, when I was a kid. I just nah. I was that's cool, and then I just
Yeah.
I wasn't focused enough.
Honestly,
were you like that, or did you
honestly don't remember the progression of learning it, because I know for a lot of people learning guitar, they'll start and then they'll just kind of go through that phase where they don't feel they're getting any better and just give up.
Yeah.
And I don't remember that phase.
You just kind of kept
right,
You
which
it
I'm
was
sure
always around.
I'm sure I had it, but and and
Was there a point when it got like you were like, okay, like I'm kind of getting good, or like I'm more serious, or I'm more interested in it? That you remember, like where it picked up? You know what I mean? Where it was more of a part of your life.
Yeah, I guess when I first started playing, I was doing playing a lot of like, I guess like grungy and like punk stuff.
And
like
stuff?
Really?
Yeah.
That's lit.
My music taste started around like Nirvana, and then like Green Day and Blink-182. That's like
Sick.
all the
I would
music
have
I get
never
started
guessed.
on. Which if you go through the album, you can definitely like pick up some influences of that. Especially I had a guy talking to me about White Buffalo yesterday. He's like, this is just like a grungy song, and I never really took it as that. But
I haven't either.
I guess if you think about it, I mean, it's
Yeah.
got heavy guitars and power chords and that kind
Yeah.
of stuff, which is it's definitely influence drawn from grunge and like pop punk, whatever you want to call it, 90s rock genre. So that was where I was learning that. And also at the same time, my older brother had started playing music. He was playing guitar, but he was also playing drums at the same time. So I was kind of immersed as the front man. And then he's still way better than me at guitar, but he's also
Is he really?
yeah, no, he's great at guitar, but he's also much better than me at drums too. I play a little bit of drums, but he's definitely
It's the hardest thing to do.
the better
oh
one.
my goodness.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried, Dusty, to play drums?
Yeah, I'm terrible
Dude, I feel like
with the drum set.
a baby deer.
Yeah, I look at it and I'm just like, okay.
Getting the feet in the hands is what messes me up. I could do the hands.
Yeah.
I could do a little beat
See,
with the hands.
I was killer at drums, like when they came out with
Rock
Rock
Band?
Band.
Oh,
Yes,
I knew you
I've
were
seen.
gonna say
I
that.
know it's nothing compared to playing actual
but
drums.
it's still coordination
but
between
it's
your
still
feet
coordination.
and
And
your
I was
hands.
good
Yeah.
at the coordination when I have everything in front of me telling me when to do it. But like when I'm thinking for myself and I just get,
Yeah.
that's not how I compute.
Yeah, but so my brother's, he's always kind of had a more, I guess, like mathematical brain.
Yeah.
So that made like learning the theory of guitar really easy. Like, I mean, all drums is counting to 4 over and over again. Yep. and so he was able to do that. He's got he's got an electrical engineering degree. So he was always really good at that. Whereas more, I guess, creative. Which is that right or left side of the brain? That's creative.
Left.
Left is creative.
Left is creative. Yeah.
All right. So I guess I was more left brain. So I was sort of the that kind of led me into eventually getting into songwriting.
Yeah, and see that's what I'm really interested in is like how your songwriting began and how it developed over time. 'Cause you have a really unique approach to songwriting, I feel like.
Thank you. But yeah, so my first, I guess, songwriting, I started writing songs maybe like freshman year of high school. That's when I started, and it wasn't, none of those songs are anything worth sharing or notable.
Do you have
But
any old stuff on YouTube?
I've got some old
we could dig
covers. I got some old covers we'd probably watch, but so I started writing, and then formed a band with some of my friends in high school. It was called High Meadows Communion. I don't know if I ever
High
told you.
Meadows community.
High Meadows Communion. Yeah.
I didn't know that. I had no idea.
So that was my first kind of real deal band where we were like actually like trying to play shows and stuff.
Were you guys playing covers, originals, a mix?
Mostly a mix.
Okay.
Or to start off. But we there were 5 of us in the band, and then like pretty much all of us were songwriters. So we were cranking out some content, and it was 3 vocalists, myself, my friend Will, and then another friend of mine, Noelle, girl, obviously. So we kind of had the tight harmonies and stuff, and that was like kind of folk rock influenced band.
Yeah.
So that's kind of marked my shift from, like punk rock stuff to more folk stuff. And that was also around the time I started listening to, I guess like Mumford and Sons were a big gateway, which in turn started listening to the Avett Brothers through them, which are it's like my favorite band. But is just like I guess more softer music and like more emotional music, I guess. Not to say that the rock stuff isn't emotional. It's just kind of different ends of the spectrum.
Yeah.
So, and then High Meadows Communion, we played together like 2 or 3 years. Had a decent following in the Chattanooga area. And then I was the youngest member of that band, so everyone kind of went off to school, did their own thing. And
is that kind of when that fell off?
Yeah, I mean we played a couple shows here and there, but my brother who played drums went to UT and played with them, so that's when I started writing as Drumming Bird.
And where did that name come from? What?
I don't know. It's just I play on words of hummingbird.
Okay, and
I guess.
Dude, I was talking to my buddy that I talked to on the phone. I don't know if I told you all the time at work because he did the same job that I do, Michael Osborne.
Oh yeah.
And he said, I asked him today. I was talking to him about that we were going to do this podcast. And I didn't until I said something to him about Drumming Bird. Like, he knows all about you and stuff because I told him about working on your album and stuff. But he was like Hummingbird, dude? And, like, I never put that together. I don't know why I didn't, but, like, that never came together for me. So that's funny that you said that.
I think it's a funny, appropriate name because, hummingbird birds are, like, kind of majestic, emotional things, and then when you add drumming, it's a kind of element. It's kind of combines my influences in a name, and it's also it's. I think
That's
it's
cool.
I think it's just a cool name.
I do
all
too,
around.
yeah.
It's catchy, memorable. So, I've liked it.
I'm a fan.
But let's see.
Money.
Where was I?
You just mentioned that you started writing.
Enter Drumming Bird. I had an album of like 8 songs I recorded on GarageBand.
You just write them on guitar?
Yeah, they wrote them on guitar, but I did the full production.
No kidding.
Guitar, drums, bass,
nice,
and everything on GarageBand.
When was this in high school?
Junior year.
And is this the time when Take the Tiger Home?
That was like
Was that done on GarageBand?
No, that was actually done. I won some studio time at like a songwriting contest. So that was done in a studio called the Soundry in Chattanooga. But yeah, everything else was just like recorded in my basement, and just figuring shit out as I went.
Dude, that's exactly how I started. I wonder what year that was. When you started with GarageBand?
About 2014, 2015.
Okay, because it was 2011 when I started with GarageBand. Like, I was making beats, so I was never recording until like 2 or 3 months down the line, and my buddies were like, "Dude, can you record?" And I was like, "I don't know.
I think so.
We'll try
I guess.
it. We'll try it." That was actually right there. That's my first mic I ever got. I recorded a lot of stuff on that. There's a lot of spit in that mic, probably.
Gross.
You need to clean it, dude. Floss.
Well,
it builds character, bro.
Dude.
I guess.
But yeah,
that's cool. I never knew that you like spent that much time in GarageBand, like learning how to do. So you could like basically mix your own album now, dude. Like next time you're gonna man Pro Tools, bro.
So, is there any? I know you said you started writing under the Drumming Bird name. Is there any different approaches you took to songwriting at that time, or is there anything else that you became aware of that maybe changed the characteristics of the song or anything like that?
Yeah, I never really. I feel like songwriting just like came pretty naturally and easy to me, which is just like, I don't know, feels like a weird thing to say.
No. You can definitely tell.
He's like that
in someone's writing.
He's definitely like that.
Yeah.
Have you always liked to write like through school and stuff?
Yeah, and I did kind of, we
Just, like, tell
we need to
stories
get my
and stuff.
mom on here to talk about this. But I would write poetry sometimes. So
Yeah,
Really?
And I think that's a great thing for all songwriters
Yeah, because basically
or any
what it
writer
is, right?
at all.
That's I started doing that in like middle school, and it wasn't like a ton, but
Right, but-
kind of picked up at a knack.
What was
for
it about? Do you remember? Or like what was there like a reason you were like, I want to write about this. I'm gonna write a poem.
No, I remember I got my mom a poem for Christmas.
You wrote her a poem for
yeah,
Christmas.
Yeah, because cheaper than
Yeah, anything.
You
else,
could have gave a
literally
better
cheaper than
answer, but that's
anything.
probably pretty true, right?
But
That's cool though. That's really cool.
And I guess my love for songwriting kind of developed from that.
And were you already writing songs at that point? And then like with the band, or did you start writing poems first?
Started writing poems like middle school.
So you got her. You said middle school. You got her. You wrote her a
I
poem
think
for
so.
Christmas.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. Was she like, you're good at this, or did she say you're garbage, or?
Well, she's my mom. Of course, she said I'm good.
Yeah,
At it.
yeah. I mean, I'm sure she
Yeah,
says his music's good.
My mom's gonna tell a middle schooler he's not good at poetry.
I don't know.
My son is a poet. I need a publisher.
But yeah, and then with High Meadows Communion, I wrote some decent songs, and then Drumming Bird started to refine it.
Were you writing by yourself at that point?
Yeah.
So it was a more internal approach.
Yeah. So it was. I've like never really had a desire to like be a solo artist.
Yeah.
You like the idea of a band?
Yeah, even if like it's a band where I'm doing all the legwork, like all the writing and stuff, I just never really wanted it to just be like Austin Sawyer.
Mm-hmm.
Austin Sawyer and the drumsticks.
And
or
the,
something, you know?
I liked the band concept.
The whole
And I think-
collective idea.
Yeah,
of
Yeah.
being
and I
together
think
with
it's
people.
so much easier to. I think it's so much easier to market that way.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's hell
I'd
to
agree with
market
that for sure.
to market yourself.
It seems so like like
Self-indicative, or I don't even know if
like-
that's the right word, but
it just seems like you got a big head.
Yeah, I mean,
It's harder. It comes off that way to people when you're like, listen to my song.
but
you know?
also I have all these other people that have been putting in a lot of
Right.
hours.
If you say my band, it kind of comes off a little
Yeah.
bit
but on the
different.
same token, nothing's wrong. I don't
think
there's-
it's wrong. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not
It's-
saying it's wrong.
yeah.
It's just it's easier to swallow for people when you're like, hey, check out my band rather than check me out.
and it's kind of this like tangible thing that like separate from myself.
Yeah.
If that makes any
Yeah,
sense.
Yep. yeah.
Like I'd feel like so weird like selling merch with like my name on it.
Like me.
Well,
Would you say?
Well,
No, I mean I'm not saying
well-
you're hating, but you know how weird it feels.
But-
no, I'm dead serious.
but
Like,
I,
it feels
I'd
kind of
argue
weird.
Moose is kind of a separate thing from
Yeah, it's a good point.
yourself
It's a good
as,
point.
Yeah,
as
that's-
well.
Dusty, thanks for rocking my hat, by the way. I
Of
appreciate it.
course.
Since I don't even have one on, I'm draping today.
Would you say that, like, using the Drumming Bird name, would you say it's easier to like perform and display those songs that you wrote that meant so much? You know, it's like essentially taking how you feel inside and just putting it out for the world to see. Do you feel like it's easier to put through a Drumming Bird filter? Not necessarily filter, but
No, yeah, that's a good question.
That makes sense.
It is a bit of a kind of shield of the vulnerability that comes through in my songwriting for sure.
Do you think that helped improve your songwriting over time because you were like you didn't feel so vulnerable,
Yeah, I guess it's easier to
a little more confidence,
not
and,
filter
like,
yourself.
to say here's some emotions and how I felt when you've got a band surrounding you, kind of playing along and
Supporting
kind
you.
of pushing out, what you're making.
Yeah.
So did you write? So okay, maybe I might be taking some of where you were going with this, but did you at that point then you had those songs and stuff that you were messing with on GarageBand? So then did you take and build because you said you're doing it all yourself, right?
Yeah.
So did you build a band around that then?
Yes. Yeah. So when I made it, I really didn't have any intentions of like making a band, I guess, per se, of like performing those songs
kinda
live.
just creating
like,
at that time.
pretty much like I did with Moose, like making a thing, like it's like kind of separate from myself. You did that with Drumming Bird and was like, hey,
Yeah.
Hey, we'll
this
figure out
is-
the details later.
yeah, like as far as live setting, like we'll figure out that later. But like
Yeah.
you were like, this is another thing aside from me. This is like it comes off as a group thing when you do have different instruments. And
Yeah,
stuff.
definitely.
That's a cool concept. I never even thought about
So-
doing something like that.
So that's how I initially approached it, and then I guess like 6 months after I'd released something, like my friends in high school listened to it and stuff, and I like said we were gonna do like a one night only, the only Drumming Bird performance ever, and we were just gonna play like the 8 songs that were on the album.
And you had friends that wanted to do that with you?
Yeah. So that's my buddy Frazier played bass, and then Sam and Daniel played with me then. And
Really?
So
Yeah.
you got
So they
you got
were-
your brother to come back from college.
Yeah. So
Okay.
so this show happened like early summer, so he was back from school,
Okay.
and then Sam was still in high school at that point too.
He's same age as you?
Sam Thomas. He's a year older than me.
Okay.
Yeah, and then my buddy Frazier's the same age as me, and then we played a show in Frazier's basement. It's called a Greg's Down Under because that's his dad's name.
Oh my goodness.
That's
I
cool.
love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
And we had like 40 friends show up and just
That's
had,
awesome.
had a kick-ass time playing those songs. And then that kind of changed my approach of maybe, I can make a band out of this and
Yeah.
play live more. So throughout high school, I kind of like wet my toes as a promoter a little bit because we only played like 3 or 4 Drumming Bird shows, but they were events. Like
Yeah.
we like made
you
a
made
big
it a big
deal.
deal out of
Yeah,
it.
so that first one had like 30
Smart.
or 40 people there. That was in May. The next one we didn't have till December. So it also kind of coincided when everyone could come back from school
Yeah, yeah.
too.
Yeah.
But
It's
we
the best time to do stuff in high school.
yeah, absolutely. So the next one was in December, and we like made a movie called Drumming Bird Saves Christmas.
Yes.
I totally forgot about this.
Do you
I need to
have
show
it?
you this. Yeah.
Dude,
So, it's like-
yes.
is
Can we
it-
put it up on our YouTube? Or do you have
Maybe.
it on YouTube?
Maybe.
Is it not that great?
No, I mean it's pretty good.
we don't have
but-
to. We
Dude,
don't have
that's
to put
cool
the pen to paper
or just like
right
a
now,
clip
but
of it or something.
Yeah,
like,
we can
that's
show
cool.
a clip of it.
That's
but,
cool.
so that was
Drumming Bird Saves Christmas.
yeah, written and directed by yours truly. It's it got snubbed.
Boy, he became a movie director, probably
Producer, engineer, musician, songwriter, band leader.
What can't he do,
Hey,
you know?
also
Poet.
on like before we get too far, before you had other members, you just to be clear, you played drums, you played bass.
My brother Daniel played drums on a couple, maybe.
You're like, hey, I need you for this.
Yeah, he played on like 5 tracks, and then I played on
And
a
how did
couple other
you?
ones.
How did you know how to mic stuff, or were you just kind of winging it? Did you have equipment?
we had? Yeah, we had. I had like
just like laying around the house.
I had a little like
'cause you guys always-
Yamaha mixer that I'd actually shoot. I borrowed a Zoom mic. I was in a film studies class at that time,
Okay.
and like those Zoom mics have like a built-in microphone.
Yeah.
I recorded like everything on that, and then
No shit. Even drums?
no. So I
Okay.
recorded like everything except drums on that, and then I had like a DI way where I could record like bass and guitar and everything. And then that year for Christmas, we got some drum mics. So
Wow.
That's so cool.
yeah, Daniel got some drum mics, and I got like a 10-channel mixer that had a USB input,
Nice.
so we could record.
So then you could actually split the tracks. Like
Yeah.
So you didn't have to go mixer and then record to one track or like a stereo track. You could actually split snare, kick on the thing. Does that make sense?
Yes. I don't. It was. I think it was just a stereo track.
So it
because-
just went all in at once.
Yeah, and you could adjust the levels on the mixer, but GarageBand.
But from the mixer to GarageBand,
Right.
it's just one track.
yeah, I'm
essentially.
pretty sure you can't do that on GarageBand, or at least I never learned how to.
Okay.
But
Okay.
yeah, it's just a stereo drum track, so I was learning how to do all that.
Lit.
But yeah, so
That's a challenge. That's fun though. Like
is
that's
So not knowing anything at all about mixing or anything like that, I mean, I don't even know if you knew at that point that was part of making music.
Bruh, I
like
found
having
out, even me trying to be an engineer, I found out way later that was a thing.
What was that like, and how long was it after you recorded all the tracks until when you were like, okay, now it's done, now I can release that? How long was that period?
I don't know. I mean, I think that first album, it was like I made in like 2 months.
You just pushed it, yeah, because you were really...
You're probably working on it every day, too.
Yeah,
it was like
yeah.
a thing like you got it home from school and you're like, I'm... Like,
Yeah.
doing
I was doing everything on it so I could just work whenever and...
Yeah.
And then, I didn't really know proper mixing techniques, so I was like, I guess this sounds good. Bandcamp.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, Bandcamp, here we come.
Yep. Did you use SoundClick back then? I think it was more for, producers, but that was one of the older ones. It was called SoundClick.
Really?
Before SoundCloud, that was, the producer's deal. But you did Bandcamp?
Bandcamp, yeah.
Swag.
Because, you could...
iTunes.
That's still a thing, right?
Yeah, Bandcamp's still a thing. It's like you can give money if you want.
Yeah.
I think, right?
That's an option, but you can't...
You have it for sale.
You can set it up for sale. I think it was like 8 or 9 tracks, and I sold it for like $3 or something.
Yeah.
Solid. Did you sell some?
You can't still buy that now, can you?
I took it down, but...
Yeah.
Do you have Take the Tiger Home up still?
No,
or did you take that down
I took
too?
it down too.
Because you have to pay yearly, don't you, to keep it up?
Yeah.
Isn't that because I've never put out songs.
Is that why you
personally?
Is that why you took it down, or were you just wanting to be
both?
Refresh?
Yeah.
Yeah,
especially with this album coming out.
Yeah, because I was like,
and you're in a totally different place at this time,
right?
You know?
That was like 3 years ago when I recorded that, and it was a great experience and everything.
And it's a great song.
Love that song, but
I still listen to that song.
I remember when we went to play it on the podcast one time.
You can still listen to it on the podcast, yeah.
we went to play it one day, and he was like,
"No, it's on there."
Yeah, it's on an old episode.
And then it was
somewhere
later down the
power
road
line in East Tennessee.
It was later down the road though that you were like, "Hey,
West Tennessee." Sorry, I always say East Tennessee because you're from East Tennessee, and I get confused.
You're good.
Sorry for those hardcore Drumming Bird fans. Oh my gosh, I can't get a sentence out, but
we had that. Okay, so we used it once, but then there was another time I remember, and you were like, "Hey, Take the Tiger Home." Like I remember specifically trying to look it up on the computer on iTunes.
Yeah,
and you were like, "Dude, it was on there." And I was like, there's no Drumming Bird songs on iTunes. And you were like, what? Did he take it down? I think we called you or didn't text you about it, but that's funny.
Yeah, I took it down like a week or two before White Buffalo came out.
Did you?
Clean slate.
Yeah.
By the way, guys, I gotta take a little leak here soon, so we gotta take a little pause.
And
we'll play. What song you want first?
I'm with you. Let's do White Buffalo since I just
White
brought
Buffalo?
it up.
Yeah.
Okay, bring us in there while I go over here and get on the mixer. Give us a little intro to White Buffalo.
Tell us a little bit about White Buffalo.
Yeah, so White Buffalo, you can look it up on Urban Dictionary, but it's it's a term that one of my friends made me woke to about. It's just like someone you regard as like out of your league and like
just a white buffalo.
Perfect, a white buffalo, a rare specimen of sorts. So I just thought that was a unique term and wrote a song around it.
Can we put a little reverb on the beginning?
Please do.
Everybody's got a heart in a state that made them right. Everybody's holding on to love they won't let die. Are you gonna be my white buffalo, living in my head with the silver glow? How long will I keep you on this pedestal, waiting on the rain until the cows come home? Are you gonna be my white buffalo, living in my head with the silver glow? How long will I keep you on this pedestal, forever on and on, love?